Cash Global TV subscribe.
Global community, what's the deal? What we own? Today I got another compilation of non-biased, non-mainstream media. Gonna give you that information and use that we could disassociate that indoctrination that the system gave us. The truth is obviously stranger than fiction. We're gonna keep going down these rabbit holes and I'm gonna give my narrative. Hit that like button. He found this channel for a reason. Hit that subscribe button. Drop that globe in the chat and let's get to it.
This Project Looking Glass in the CIA, I wonder what they saw. Looking into the future, stealing not Egyptian but Sumerian technology, which is what they did. These are culture vultures. These Egyptsies is what they are. They wear whatever mask they need to. Do I have to pretend to be Catholic? Do I have to pretend to be Jewish? Do I have to pretend to be Muslim? No, they're thieves. They're glorified thieves is what these people are. And they've always been this since the beginning of history. And they stole some Sumerian technology that allowed them to predict outcomes, and that technology stopped working in 2012.
So that Project Looking Glass shit kind of make a lot of sense now. So if you don't know about Project Looking Glass, basically like they've been remote viewing the past and the future since like the 70s, right? But once they made it to around 2012, it's like you can't manipulate time no more. It all kind of just meshed. And, 2012, if you remember, this is when all these Mandela effects start hitting us all at the same time, right? And anyone who knows anything, like if you was cognitive and alert back then, like the world for sure changed after 2012. Then the next election we had was 2016, special year. And we had somebody who was not a politician become the president in Donald Trump. Now on Project Looking Glass, they say like basically once it gets to around 2026, 2027, they can't see anything at all, but all they can see is that the world, like all the powerful governments and all the powerful people in the world, they fall. And they're like, this over with forever. And I just find it to be so funny that like, these Epstein files might be strong enough, important enough, or whatever to really change the tables around. Because we got to think about the scenarios of like, if all the former presidents was out here doing crazy stuff with children, right? No way we can just let this government stand, right? Like, I know we don't fight for nothing, pretty much. We paying taxes and funding a genocide, and we don't fight for nothing. But maybe these files, like, when they get truly released and we see everything that really happened, maybe it's so crazy that the government just...
Global community, how y'all feel about Robert Monroe? Dr. Monroe, the Stanford dude who had the institute with remote viewing, the grandfather remote viewing. Y'all believe it's possible? The CIA put a lot of funding into it. They live and die by it. What y'all think about it?
Prince Andrew getting arrested is a representation of biblical context when you're talking about Revelation chapter 12, when you have the fall of the red dragon, where you have Michael or Michael Melchizedek, which is also a representation of Uranus in Gemini, where you have spiritual revolution by way of truth, because truth is a sword that slays the dragon. Uranus in Gemini, all the way up until the time of 2033, is a representation of the Christ energy. So it's not a coincidence that Prince Andrew gets arrested right after the snake year, because it's the shedding of corporations. It's the shedding of a fraudulent system that was interconnected to the Epstein files. Now, when you get into the inception of the oligarchy monarchy system that's interconnected to the Order of the Red Dragon that was propagated by Count Dracula or Count Dracula, who is also known as the Black Hats, who are Satanists. So it's not a coincidence when you're talking about the Epstein files, it's talking about cannibalism, because cannibalism in itself is the personification of Canaanite culture. So when you look at the coat of arms of Prince Andrew, it shows you the same sigilcism of the Order of the Red Dragon, which is a secret society that is also interconnected to the Epstein files. So with that being said, if you understand symbolism, planetary alignments,
find this suspicious, come on me down this rabbit hole.
Truman's awakening begins when a star labeled Sirius falls from the sky between two pillars. Then there's the dome, the staircase, the all-seeing eye, and the grand architect. One of the Rothschilds was even a producer on the film.
Why?
So the question is, what message is being encoded here? First, we need to understand Gnosticism. In Gnostic cosmology, the material world isn't created by the true God. Instead, it's a prison created by a false deity called the Demiurge.
The what? A dragon?
According to this belief, the Demiurge traps divine souls in matter, keeping them ignorant through deception and control. The uninitiated live in ignorance, controlled by false narratives and false gods. A fabricated dome world.
Crazy.
He's kept ignorant of true reality. In Gnostic terms, he represents the divine spark trapped in matter. Christoph, meaning of Christ, sits in a lunar command center, controlling everything like a god. He believes he's benevolent and is giving Truman a chance to live a good life. The Demiurge also believes his prison is paradise. She's the one trying to wake Truman up, breaking the rules to tell him that his world isn't real and he has to get out. Then there's Marlin, his best friend who appears with beer every time Truman questions reality. In Gnosticism, the Archons use intoxication and distraction to keep souls asleep and compliant. Truman's journey to break through the dome is the journey from illusion to reality. Another symbol used in The Truman Show is one we have all become much too familiar with. It's the Eye of Horus from ancient Egypt. It's the third eye of enlightenment, the pineal gland. It's the eye that looks at you through your phone's camera. And of course, what appears on the back of the dollar bill. Truman's programmed fear is water. His father's staged drowning was created to keep him imprisoned. And what must he do to escape? Sail into Kristoff's storm and experience the drowning he was programmed to fear, a symbolic death and rebirth. After his baptism into the mystery schools, he ascends the Freemasonic staircase of enlightenment.
This is what the elite believe, by the way.
There's 16 total steps, but they are reflected in the water below.
He comes to the wall.
As above, so below. And that makes it 32 steps, with his final step out of the door being the 33rd.
Like the 33rd Mason.
There's one more layer we need to talk about. You.
Follow me for part 2.
There is so much symbolism in these movies that this video alone is going to talk about all the symbolism in all these movies. This is a machine from 13 Ghosts. And if you didn't see my video yesterday, basically, there's 13 ghosts in the 13th. Sacrifices itself. A willing sacrifice. Pay attention to how the machine looks. This is another view of it. Kinda looks like something. Have you ever seen the flat earth globe model? Yeah, kinda favors it. But that's not what I was referring to. That's what I was referring to. If you notice in 13 Ghosts, they had what was gonna be the willing sacrifice in the middle. In this eye represents the all-seeing eye. Those eyes on top represent the planets. This is a picture of our solar system. Doesn't it look the same? I'm getting there. Pay attention. Friday the 13th represents sacred geometry. Let's think about the movie Friday the 13th. Again, dealing with death, rebirth, and sacrifice. It's always an innocent sacrifice. Ever notice how Jason loved his mom so much in Friday the 13th? It's because it's connected to feminine energy in the 13 moon cycles. Have you ever seen the symbolism for it though? This represents Venus and Earth, if you didn't know. Oh, and if you didn't know, the number 13 in tarot represents death. But all this 13 talk got me thinking about one of my favorite movies, The Men in Black. Pay attention to what they're sitting in, just in case you need a visual again. On these vehicles, they're using to time travel. Very similar to the 13 Ghost machine. It can control time. Remember Orion's belt for Men in Black? See the symbolism? Or the light that was given to Earth. This is what happened when they shoot in the air when she leaves. Do you see the symbolism yet? I know. I'm gonna keep going. There's just so much to say. Speaking of Men in Black, have you noticed every single Men in Black? There seems to be a sacrifice. Just thought I'd put that out there. Now let's talk about the Matrix. Do you remember what the machines look like in the Matrix? Does it look like something familiar? Yes, no? Let's talk about the main machine and what it looked like. This is the main machine. What does it look like? An eye? The all-seeing eye? Oh yeah, and Neo sacrifices himself. I'm starting to see a trend. Remember in 13 Ghosts when they were saying that the 13th ghost was a fail-safe? In short terms, it's there in case the system fails. System like a program or a computer. Let's hear what they had to say in the Matrix.
You tried to activate the failsafe. The suits tried.
So what am I saying? We live in a video game. If you don't know what type of angel this is a throne. In the middle is the all-seeing eye. This symbolism is pretty much everywhere. And he who can control this controls the world. But the thing is, we create the reality. That's why it's important if you worship something. Because you'll do things in their favor. Remember how we talked about the gods having their own planets? That's who sits on the throne. Angels, gods, whatever you want to call them. Even agent. It's been in the symbolism. Remember the agents in the Matrix? Let's read one of the jobs of the throne angels. They're believed to be agents of the divine justice. Are you starting to see it? Notice what it looks like. Doesn't look like that to y'all? How about that? That's an atom. That may be a little too deep for now. If you would like me to make a part 3, like and comment. Just know that's going to come with a warning because
Epstein was literally creating Neanderthal hybrid humanoid beings in his underground tunnels and on his island. This was stated in the Epstein files. They're creating beings that look just like this by splicing their DNA and then creating a homunculus that grows on its own in their labs that they have, and then they do whatever they want to these creatures, which I don't even want to know what they did. It had to be horrifying. If you want to read this for proof, here's from the Epstein files that were released in 2026. I am back from Rome. I'm in Vienna now. This is coming from Martin Nowak to Jeffrey Epstein. He said he got a complete Neanderthal genome. Would you like to use this? The two of you could build a Neanderthal person. And so they literally did just that. And they bring the kids that they kidnapped and they torture them by having them interact with these strange homunculus creatures that they created. And the best way to scare someone is by showing them a literal monster at the age of like 3 years old or even younger. Like, you think that's going to scare a kid? Of course it is. It's going to scare them so much that their adrenaline gets pumping and it gets into their blood, and you know what they want from the blood once that happens. And this is all art, but it was made by Patricia Pansini, and she probably made this to expose what was actually going on. She probably saw this with her own eyes. They would have these creatures sleep with the kids that they took. They created taller beings which would steal the kids away and bring them to their evil masters. They would force them to live lives in these underground tunnels and then grow old with other Neanderthals. They probably make them reproduce with each other, so who knows how many of these beings still exist down there. I mean, look at this. This is like half Neanderthal, human, and pig hybrid. If you didn't know, pigs actually have human DNA in them. That's why we shouldn't eat them. And then they grow like this, and they nurse them just like an animal. It's just like really terrifying stuff, but the whole picture is coming together now. We have the artwork, which shows what happens. We have the proof, and the government-issued Epstein files that were released. We know that what they're up to, and you know, there's that saying, the truth is stranger than fiction. Well, this is the strangest thing out of anything, and no one talks about it. But this is 100% what happened in those underground tunnels. There's no movies about this, because it's too...
See, the most nefarious thing is, it doesn't stop with the E-Man. You think their want and desire for these type of things, the beef jerky, the lust for children, stopped when the E-Man went to jail or he allegedly unalived himself? No, they still desire and crave the same nefarious things and wants. So it's being provided from somebody. Supply and demand. Rules of life never fail. So it's still taking place.
For waking up, and I could look across and there was literally hundreds of cages, and there was children, small children in these cages, and they were all attached. So they were in such tremendous pain that they were really tremendous pain. It was a darker energy because obviously the children were being tortured, just absorbing the energy from the children. And I survived it, but a lot of the children in there didn't survive it.
When was this? What age were you when this happened?
I was like 7 years old when this happened.
You were one of those children?
I was one of the children that survived electric shocks. Now they were also had sort of out of my body, but I could hear and I could see, but it was like a far away sort of thing because I was disassociated really bad. And then I remember that I could hear them speaking, and they were going to take this energy and they were going to put it on food. They were going to throw this dark energy on food. So whoever eats the food would also be. They would be charmed, and they would be energetically, parasitically linked, and they would be depressed and all sorts of. This energy works on the negative emotions. It absorbs it, it likes it, and into the water. That's the pollution of the water. Everybody knows that the human body is made mostly up of water. Well, it's programmable. Water's programmable. The thing is if you mess with the water and pollute the water, and then the people drink that, or it rains down, or they swim in it, or they get in it, obviously effect on them, and lots of different effects on them. So they're trying to do is they're trying to pretty much pollute everybody in the world to where they don't know what's going on anymore. Even the few awakened one, heart-touching memory I have is that I was in space and I could see this black goo or this black smoke encompass Earth, just like smoke encompass it.
Inside the galaxy.
Yes, it comes from somewhere else, from what I understand. It comes from somewhere else. I'm still trying to figure that out.
So
it puts you in amnesia also.
About like five, that black word that she said, that used to get people's channels taken down like years ago.
I've noticed that the more that you don't remember. It puts you in amnesia. I noted when I was small, I would see it on I would see on people who abused their children. I would see on murderers. I would see on all sorts of people when they were very negative, I would see on them. And it would express, I had instances where I would talk to somebody and then they would say certain words. And then I'd go down the road and talk to somebody else and they would continue the conversation because it was that same energy speaking through these people that it had hacked into.
Syrian Aramaic. How clever.
Jesus.
Honey, is this something?
It's true what I said, though. I do know who you are. It was Hazel.
Where'd you get that? From Alano's place? You found something up there. Well, some things, pal, you should know.
Like what?
And if you know, you should never ever tell.
bear my wrath.
I saved this because it reminded me of something. In America, we have this tradition where natives are portrayed to hold up their hand and they say, how? I don't know, something racist, I guess. But I've discovered that they held up their hand for a very specific reason. And it wasn't some silly depiction from our Hollywood. It was actually a result of them wanting to see whether or not you had 6 fingers. We have all kinds of these stories in America of these giants, and, you know, anytime the giant bones are found, the Smithsonian shows up and carts it off, and you know, that's probably true. And the more that I look into this prehistoric stuff that's related to the sandcastle culture that I've discovered and the cultures that are associated with the later tech eras, namely like the second tech era, there's a lot of Nephilim stuff going on. And it seems that the Nephilim very much made it for a long time. You know, even after the Younger Dryas cataclysm, they seem to be present. And it appears the early natives in America had to deal with these guys. And so them holding up one hand and saying, how? They probably didn't say how. I don't know. But them doing that was essentially derived from the traditions of wanting to know whether or not you're an enemy. And I don't mean to be getting too deep into the conspiracy spaces because, I mean, try to stay as neutral as possible, but I can't help but get into this prehistoric stuff and discover you can't avoid this topic. And the things that stand out to me are these Nephilim stories from early America. And there's one that I can't find. And if anybody knows of what I'm describing, please, you know, send me the link. But there's a interview of a groundskeeper. This individual worked on the grounds of Jekyll Island, where the Federal Reserve was created. And he told a story where Rockefeller built the clubhouse or whatever structure over this site that was alleged to be a sacrificial site of the former giants that had lived on that specific island. And this groundskeeper described this long story of Rockefeller and all this back and forth about the giants. And you really can't get into early American history or even prehistoric world history without talking about the alleged existence of the Nephilim.
It is true that the Timucua were very tall, but their height would have been further exaggerated by the fact that they exhibited cranial deformation on top of their already elongated skulls. The Timucua warriors wore lavish plumes, tall enough to make a 7-foot man appear as though he were 9 feet tall. Both sexes were tattooed, but the men especially. According to some sources, about a third of the adult Timucua population were actually hermaphrodites who opted out of warfare and thus were responsible for the manual labor. They also acted as receptive sexual partners for the men and bore a ceremonial significance.
Check this out, guys. No way, I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. Who's that right there? Huh? Who is that right there in the crowd if Britney Spears is on stage, bro? I must be bugging. Let me slow it down.
Hold on stage look like a AI, don't it?
Watch
on
this,
stage
guys.
don't look real.
I know I'm not bugging. Maybe I am. Who's that right here? Who's this? I don't know who this is right here, but it looks like Britney Spears. But how can Britney Spears be in the crowd if she was on stage? Shut up! Mind you guys, that was in the year 2000. The year 2000. It is now 2026. So what you mean to tell me is that they've been doing this 26 years ago? This is what people are saying, guys. Let's not forget that. I didn't make any of this stuff up. People are saying this. I mean, who could confirm this, right? Who could confirm this? Alicia Keys could. She knew. She was there since way back. Maybe we gotta ask her about this. Remember, guys, they said that some of these people were made in Dexter's laboratory. This is what people are saying. I don't believe that. That's full of crap. These are real people, bro. I mean, she sure looks real to me. But this Britney? I don't know who this is. HW plays no games, and everybody is involved. Who's involved? Nobody, because this video is for entertainment purposes only, guys. Are you kidding me? That was a lady in the crowd that looked like her. Maybe they photoshopped it. Maybe it was AI since way back. Who knows? I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think. Do your research. HW has had enough of me. This is what they told me. I gotta go.
Britney Spears, I don't know who possesses that body right now. Entertainment purposes only, but it's not the original. Everybody else, I don't know, but that is the most damning case right there.
Not ready for what I found in the Epstein files. Remember when I went on Dr. Phil and said that Taylor Swift could be a clone?
I do believe in the example of Taylor Swift. There is a theory that Taylor Swift is a clone,
And that ties back into the Church of Satan. You have Anton LaVey, he was the founder of Church of Satan, and his daughter, Zena LaVey, who is on record talking about how they use music to control people. And she has an uncanny resemblance to Taylor Swift. What are the odds? I think very slim.
Well, in the Epstein files, there's actually a lot of talk about clones and cloning. Like here, attached is the doc you requested. It's the use of funds spreadsheet for the designer baby and human cloning company. I assume they didn't show Zena LaVey's image on Dr. Phil because then people might be like, wow, her and Taylor Swift do look alike, and they don't want people asking questions and then looking into the symbolism and realizing cloning facilities might actually be real. Reality truly is stranger than fiction, and if you don't think this stuff is happening, I don't know what to tell you. But I don't know. I'm just a conspiracy theorist. Let me know what you think. You are not ready for what I found in the Epstein files.
It's 2016, guys. 2016. Yeah. The bad things happening on Earth now. All these world events like 9/11 and so many other fucked up things and poisoning our food. But now, according to the emails, they had hunting parties to kill black people. This is not a fucking conspiracy theorist, guys. Bro, I will show you the emails. Going to Mean Lana's party now to hunt, right? You're probably thinking, oh, they're probably just hunting animals. Wait for it. Guess what? They are. Yeah. So they were essentially hunting black people on Epstein's island on top of raping kids, torturing kids, murdering kids, kidnapping children. And then he has the fucking audacity to say, thanks, thrilling hunt. This was 2016, guys. 2016. This was not the night. This was 2016. 2016. The peak of SoundCloud era. Way more recent. Oh, it was 10 years ago. This was way more recent than you guys think it was, bro. They've been doing, this is not old news. And the thing is, they're still doing stuff like this to this day. And they have been doing stuff like this since biblical times, since colonization, since slavery, since the Industrial Revolution. What makes somebody, what is in somebody's bloodline to make you hate somebody so much because of the color of their skin? What did black people do to you guys? What did black people do to you guys? Please tell me. What did they do? Nothing. Nothing. You know what it is? It's deeper than jealousy. It's deeper than racism. It's deeper than hate or envy or hatred or anger. This is evil, guys. This is evil. This right here is evil. This is evil. It is, you cannot be human at that point. All these colonizers and slave owners and racist people and all these elite pedophile demons. They're demons. They're fucking demons. I don't even think they're human. I don't even think they're fucking human, bro. You're hunting black out of everybody. You didn't even hunt Latinos. Well, I don't know. I don't know anymore. But black people are the main ones. And people wonder all the time, why do I always speak about black people? For shit like this. They're the main ones. They're the main ones getting targeted by demons. The movie Get Out was not just a metaphor or a symbol for racism. They were literally, because remember, they put the truth in movies and the fake in real life. They were literally telling us what they do to black people on these islands, even like from slavery to now. They still do this shit on these rich ass islands, in these underground temples. I'm telling you, they still do this shit, bro. The colonizers and the demons are still here amongst us to this day. So apparently,
really messed up in the Jeffrey Epstein files. They found a file talking about them cloning celebrities so that they can do things to the version of that celebrity that they wanted. Wait, what? Yeah, so they were investing billions into cloning and trying to clone celebrities, specifically Britney Spears at the time, so that they could do things to a version of that clone. In the files, it stated that this clone might be like years old today if the clone is still alive. Holy and smokes. Is pretty much like Britney Spears' clone. Yeah. I'm sure in their head they think like cloning it, okay, boom, expendable.
And where do the bodies go after? Do you see that too with the trap door into the ocean?
Yeah, literally in that one picture, it shows in the bottom floor, it goes straight to
another compilation of prime examples of facts are stranger than fiction and how much nefarious things are going on in the world. Let me know how y'all feel about this rundown. Let me know how y'all felt about it. Let me know y'all favorite narrative. What's your ideology on all these situations? Any get back ever for the E-Files? I don't know. I'm going to keep bringing y'all this information. We're going to keep getting these downloads, partaking, eating potatoes, and spitting out the bones. I am Cash, capital K, $ for the S. Shout out to all my Global Gang members. Appreciate y'all. Y'all keep this channel alive. Make sure you pop out the Intellectual Street Thoughts tonight, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Drop them globes in the chat.